Hey, Whippersnappers, it's Tortimer the Gray. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Gray version Season 4. This week we are wrapping up the PU tier by taking on the gym number 3, which we rolled for the electric type. We are starting off this week up against Gym Trainer Scad as Gobi comes in, throws up that Earthquake, but the Raichu's got a balloon going. Pippin then switches in and is able to get the U-turn off on the Raichu. Did not expect the one-shot there, but was happy to get it. Professor Alerce back this week, going to go down to a hard liquidation from the Golbat. Pippin then going to take a hard Ice Punch, at which point then Emotep comes in and is going to throw up the Psyshock on the Electrode, taking it down. Simba coming in, getting the toxic damage as Emotep tears into the ground type and starts setting up Calm Minds there. So Emotep, a new member of the team this week, a shiny version of a Pokemon that I had on my rotating team when I played through Scarlet and Violet the first time. Love the gold shinies, so you know I had to do that, and then Gobi returning from a previous week. And we'll take a look at the other team members in a little more detail in the upcoming battle, but thanks so much for participating this week, Gym Trainer Scad. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are up against Gym Trainer Mac, and leading off with Fifi this week. Fifi coming in with the Toxic Spikes in the majority of our battles, switching out in the face of the Raichu this time as Gobi comes in. Gonna throw up the Lava Plume there, expecting that that'll be my best bet against whatever the switch is. Obviously a lot of levitating Rotoms this week, so my ground moves often a little dubious. A couple of Surfing Pikachus this week as well. Gobi able to survive one and finish off with the Earth Power, which was very nice, given it's 4 times effective. Fifi then switches in and is going to start setting up the Toxic Spikes. Not super scared of Dedenne, able to get one up and then throw up the Gunk Shot. The Fake Out from the Raichu going to finish off, but getting some decent damage off with the Poison and the Aftermath there on the Raichu. Raichu Terra typing into Flying. Emotep going to start setting up the Calm Minds here and avoiding the Iron Tail, which is very nice. The Psyshock going to finish off the Raichu, which point then Spike comes in, sets up the Electric Surge, the Earth Power from the ground type Emotep going to do good work. And then the Electrode going to explode, wrapping up Mac's battle and giving me the victory this week. So thank you so much for participating this week, Gym Trainer Mac. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move on to the next battle, shall we? Here we go. Alright guys, here we are up against Gym Trainer Pocket Flygon. Again, leading with Fifi, trying to get those Toxic Spikes up. There wasn't really enough stalling going on this week that the toxic damage was really super necessary. In fact, I found a couple of instances where I would have liked to have put up like Sleep or some other kind of status, but I'd already poisoned everybody, so it didn't really end up coming into play. So probably that ended up being more deficit than help, but I'm sure it contributed to something or another. The Rotom comes in as Apollo switches out, bringing in Gobi. Gobi going to throw up the Rock Tomb there. Flygon playing with shields and stuff this week, so gonna reducing the damage we're getting, but at least we do have the toxic damage kind of chipping away there. Professor Alerce comes in, gets the Sucker Punch off, but is gonna go down to another Surf. Professor Alerce coming in from a previous week along with Gobi. Pippin, the shiny Flapple coming in, is a Pokemon that I had in Pokemon Sword and Shield. I just love Flapple so much, and the shiny version is fantastic. Flapple switching out, Pippin switching out, Emotep coming in, Terra typing into ground there, and then the Glaceon going to come in. Emotep is setting up, and it's like, oh, well, thankfully Glaceon sets up a little bit itself, but unfortunately the Psyshock not going to be enough to get through all those screens and finish off the Glaceon, and unfortunately Emotep freezes here, survives an Ice Beam, but freezes, and then is going to go down. So Glaceon Terra typed into the Electric type here. Apollo able to come in with the close combat and finish it off, at which point then switching out and Gobi coming in and getting the Lava Plume up. Flygon bringing the Dragonair back in, then Pippin coming in to take the Surf I figured was coming there. Then the Fan comes in, and Pippin starts going for the Outrages. I'm just mad. I'm sick of all this, all these delay tactics. Reducing my damage, would you? Well, alright, so Pippin comes in, gonna finish off the Rotom and the Ampharos. Apollo then gonna come in and take a hard play rough from the Raichu. Gobi switching in, then getting an Earth Power off, finishing off the Dragonair, and then the Raichu switches in, gets a Play Rough off, but is going to take an Earth Power for its trouble and go down. So thank you so much for participating this week, Gym Trainer Flygon. I greatly appreciate it. This was one of we had a lot of good battles this week. There wasn't too many that it was terribly one-sided, either you guys really sweeping me or me really sweeping anybody. There was this was a 29 turn battle or whatever. We had some pretty decent battles this week, which was nice. And I won. So those are even better. But yeah, thank you so much for participating this week, Gym Trainer Flygon. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move on. We've got 4 more battles to get to this week, so let's move on and see what those have in store, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are up against Pokefan Adarum as he brings in his own shiny Spidops to set up some hazards here. I get my Toxic Spikes up, and then Addy gets Webs, and then we get Circle thrown out into Gobi. Gobi gonna take down the Spidops, although I don't expect that Addy expected much more work out of Spidops this week. Another Surfing Pikachu comes in and does good work to Gobi. Gobi hanging on though, and able to get the Earth Power off, finishing off the Pikachu, but then going down to the Rotom. Not great to have my my ground type gone first thing in the battle there, but the Air Slash and the Terra Blast coming from the Rotom taking down Alerce and Pippin there. At which point then Fifi gonna come in, do good damage to the Rotom, but not enough to take it out. Imhotep then gonna switch in, take the Air Slash, and then Rotom's going to finally go down. Imhotep goes down to a Shadow Ball from the Rotom, and then Apollo going to switch in, take a Shadow Ball, and go down. And Gym Trainer Adam takes a very handy victory there. So not very close on that one. But a couple of the battles were pretty good. But no, Addy did a real good work to my team this week. So thank you so much for participating this week, Gym Trainer Pokefan Adam. I greatly appreciate it. Let's check out the next couple of battles, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are up against Gym Trainer Shunosaurus. I think Shun was the only person who brought in the Hisuian Vortob this week, which was cool to see. I guess with the home functionality opened up, those Pokemon were probably newly available in the move pool there. Emotep gonna take a hard flamethrower from the Dragonair. Gonna set up some stuff, but it's not gonna be enough. Not moving faster. And Calm Mind or whatever it is I was using, yeah, it doesn't increase your speed. Gobi coming in and going to throw up the Earth Power on the Dragonair, taking it down. At which point then Raichu switches in. It comes in with the Surf, so not only do we have Surf and Pikachus, but we got Surf and Raichus as well. Pippin coming in with the Outrage, making me mad, taking out all my Pokemon, going for the Outrage there. There was a lot that when I got in a tight spot, I was just like, all right, Pippin, come out. We're outraging. I'm done with this. And he's Flapple. I love Flapple so much. He's just, every time I did it, he just knocked somebody out. And it's like, all right, here we go. Ended up confused there, switching out the Squeakquel coming in and getting the Thunderbolt off on Imhotep there. Apollo going to switch in and throw up the Earthquake, finishing off the Raichu and claiming victory in the battle. So thank you so much for participating this week, Gym Trainer Shunosaurus. I greatly appreciate it. One more Gym Trainer to go, and then we will see how the gym battle fares. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are up against Gym Trainer Klungar, our final Gym Trainer of the day. We've got some hazard setters setting up here against each other. We've got Toxic coming from Fifi and a triple layer of normal spikes coming from Resistance before it goes down. Fifi is going to just throw up the Sucker Punch up against the rain-setting Electrode, takes a hard Thunder and gets paralyzed. Electrode gets a little bit of toxic damage, but then goes down to another Sucker Punch there. At which point then the Zangoose comes in, Quick Attack finishes off Fifi, but the Aftermath going to do a little bit of work there against the Zangoose. Apollo then going to take a hard Quick Attack, which manages to take it out. Yikes, the defenses on a Mankey. Going to be stuck with a Little Cup Pokemon for another tier, I think, so that'll be fun. Alerce going to be able to finally finish it off with a Sucker Punch there. Ampharos switching in, the Earthquake coming from Alerce. Not going to be enough to finish off the Ampharos, but the toxic damage continues to stick away, so I imagine we'll get rid of it shortly. Dazzling Gleam not going to do really anything to Gobi as the Earth Power finishes off the shiny Ampharos there. At which point then Current comes in, throws up the Surf. Not the first. I think there was like 3 or 4 times that Gobi survived surfs from Pikachus and Raichus this week, which is honestly shocking to me given that it's 4 times effective. But I guess that shows what stab normally does for you. Gobi going to be able to finish off the sub of the Rotom here, and then the Blizzard going to finish off. At which point then Pippin comes in. I go ahead and make a stupid move, Terra type into Dragon, hoping that the 2 times effective will be better than the 4 times effective and that maybe it would survive, but unfortunately not. And Klungar manages to hit like 5 or 6 Blizzards in a row. I get no RNG luck there, hoping to get a miss and then eventually be able to actually hit his last remaining Pokemon. Yeah, so Klungar comes in, very strong battle to wrap up our gym trainers for the week. Thank you so much for participating this week, Gym Trainer Klungar. I greatly appreciate it. Let's see if we can fare a little bit better. We just need to fare a little bit better against the gym leader this week. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are up against Gym Leader Codeman, and Codeman, similar lead as Klungar there, leads off with the Pincurchin trading spikes, although Codeman was going for the toxic spikes just like us this week. Fifi taking some chilling waters there and things like that. Finally going to switch out into Gobi and just try and get rid of the thing, at which point then the electric switches in and is going to be immune to the ground moves. Get Gobi out of there, bring Fifi back in, get the gunk shot off, not enough to finish off, and Fifi's going to go down. At which point Pippin then comes in and I do the tried and true, just hit everything really hard with Outrage. Unfortunately, Codeman's got a fairy type on his team, so the Outrage is, we're locked into it, can't switch out, and Pippin going to go down to the little Dedenne there. Then Professor Alerce comes in, Duracell Terras into the water type, and Alerce goes down. Then Emotep switches in, going to set up a Calm Mind or 2, and then Terra into ground to avoid whatever the Squawk ability wanted to throw up there. Not able to finish off the bird, but going to take a hard parting shot there, and then it switches out. Pincurchin then switches in, going to throw up the Earth Power and finish it off. Dedenne then switching in, Apollo comes in, takes a hard Terra Blast, and going to throw up the Close Combat and be able to finish off the Dedenne, so that was very exciting. Then Duke comes in, and I was very excited that somebody used Pomo this week because I really wanted to have a Gen 9 Pokemon in the thumbnail, and up to this point, actually Codeman was the first battle of the week, but up to this point in the episode, at least as we've recorded it, nobody had used the only Gen 9 electric type in the mix, and so it's like I really want to use it in the thumbnail, but somebody's got to use it for me to do that. At least that's generally the rule. So glad to have that here, especially in the gym leader battle, so that I can justify my ideal thumbnail look. Gobi up against Greta there. The poison damage ticking away a little bit more than our leftovers able to help, and then the Electrode goes for the explosion, leaving me just with 1 Pokemon remaining as it takes out Gobi and itself. So thank you so much for participating this week, Gym Leader Codeman. I greatly appreciate you and all of your gym trainers who joined in this week. Always so much fun when we have a week full of good battles, which this week was. A lot of really good battles this week, so that was a lot of fun. Alright guys, let's jump over to the spreadsheet and see what we've got in store for next week as we move into the NU tier. Here we go. Alrighty, as you guys can see, and as you guys are obviously aware, since you're watching this episode on like a Tuesday or Wednesday or something, this week, this episode is going up rather late this week. We had some battles go into the later parts of the week last week, and my most reliable recording time slot is like Wednesday nights. So if it doesn't happen if all the battles aren't in by Wednesday, then it's a little nebulous on when I'm actually going to be able to get to record the episode. Wednesday nights and Monday nights are kind of my best bets. And so here we are on a Monday night recording the episode. But what that means is that I previously did this roll so that we could get the team building information to you guys so that you could have teams ready for this week. So hopefully you guys have all been hard at work. Those of you guys who are in the Discord are obviously the only ones who are participating, because that's the only way to participate is by being in the Discord. But yeah, so we moved into the NU tier this week after gaining the electric badge against Codeman in the PU tier, so that moves us into NU. And then I did a randomization roll, and every time you open the spreadsheet, it changes. But it was a 3, so we'll be up against Evil Team. We actually talked in the Discord since I rolled this, and it sounds like everybody is in favor of taking Root off of the encounter type. Since we've got rival battles, Evil Team battles, and now Titans, people, and it makes sense because usually our participation has been pretty low in historically in the Gray version in weeks where we just rolled Root. That doesn't necessarily capture the imagination of people too much. So the decision that we made was, at least for the remainder of the season, and it's not actually popped up as a roll, so it's not been an issue. But the question was raised, and I think we kind of got consensus to go ahead and take Root out of that. So we'll go ahead, and I guess I can just do that, and then we'll change this to 2 and this to 3. So for future off weeks, our encounter type will be either Rival, Evil Team, or Titan. A couple of other things to note, since these have been decided. Those of you guys in the Discord obviously will already have seen it, but should Titan come back up again, we did, as a community, come to consensus on a couple of changes we want to make to those encounter types. So one of the things that people had raised as a possibility was raising the helper's level. So previously the Titan was level 175 and the helper was level 80. Most of you felt that the helper should be raised to level 100, just like my Pokemon. You felt like the helper wasn't helpful enough, I guess, or whatever. So we came to consensus on that. Everybody seemed to feel the same way. So next time we do Titans, it'll be a level 175 and a level 100 versus my team of 6, which seems fair enough. As we go up in the tiers, my Pokemon will get better and better and things like that. Ideally, eventually, I will not have a Little Cup Pokemon on my team anymore. So I guess this tier, because this would be the only week where a Titan would come up in NU. So obviously, I think in RU is when Primeape is available. So if we roll the next Titan, I will at least have an evolved Pokemon for my, not fully evolved now anymore, but an evolved Pokemon nonetheless. Anyway, so the helper will be now level 100 to pair with the level 175 Titan. And then, whereas previously we did we rolled a monotype. So we rolled fire type for the Titan, and you guys had fire type Titans as well as fire type helpers. And I think I even just before I even got community input, I was like, it was the helper needing to be the same type as the Titan was something that Shun and Flygon had kind of thrown out there for balancing purposes. But I was always fine. Like if somebody had wanted to use like a grass type with their, I think that would have been fine. So that was something but what we ended up determining was people seemed to be more in favor of using this root type. So as opposed to like me last time having said, okay, it's a fire Titan, they would have preferred like next time, instead of saying, okay, it's a fire, no, it's a volcano. And then you guys could choose ground or rock or fire or steel, something thematic. So this is more thematic than it would be restrictive necessarily. I think probably these are sufficient. If we feel like we need more varied root types, like maybe instead of water, we need, river and ocean as options too, or being less general, maybe. I don't know, because we've got grass, but we don't have like forest. Maybe we should in the comments give me some suggestions on what you might want to see as potential root types. If we're going to be using those for Titan type activities. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me that there wouldn't be like a forest. I think generally I'm thinking like terrain for these, but like obviously there should be like a forest type route. But we've got snow. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys feel like this needs any expanding for the purposes of because really the only thing it'll get used for now would be like the Titan type encounter, since we took root off of the encounter type, at least for this season. So yeah, if you guys feel like we need to expand this at all, feel free to comment about that in the comments down below. But otherwise, yeah, hopefully you guys have been preparing your NU evil teams, and I will see you guys all out there this week. But yeah, that's enough table talk. You guys have a great rest of your weeks, and hopefully I see you guys out in the play field. But as always, I've been Tortimer Gray, and you guys have been great. Make sure those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I will see you all back here next time. Alrighty, guys, have a good one.